Welcome back, everyone. So, last week you explored a bit about what it was like to be a passenger aboard the Titanic. Some passengers traveled as members of the first class and second class, and they enjoyed spacious rooms and a variety of luxuries to choose from during their journeys. Others who weren't as lucky didn't have access to these wonderful features of the ship, as they traveled as members of the third class, and they were just hoping for a new start in a new country. But what was it like as passengers first boarded the ship and settled in for their long journey? What did these passengers experience during the first few days of their time on the Titanic as it set sail? Let's explore what it was like during the beginning of the Titanic's journey. As a reminder, as you read, feel free to take notes about anything that you might find interesting or anything that you might have questions about. So, when I explored the beginning days of the passengers boarding the Titanic and experiencing their first few days living on the ship, I began to think about what it would be like to travel in the different classes. Some of the passengers traveling in first class brought their servants and maids with them to make their journeys even more pleasant. The servants and maids, however, didn't enjoy the luxuries of first class, and they stayed in rooms near their masters, mostly housed as members of the second class. The first class passengers stayed in large suites, whereas those in the third class stayed in what were known as cabins. These cabins only had the most necessary furniture, such as bunk beds, which some of the children did enjoy staying in. However, the suites of the first class had multiple adjoining rooms to allow for plenty of space for those first class passengers. Those traveling as first class often brought expensive items with them, such as jewelry, that they stored in a safe on the ship for fear of it being stolen. But what happened as the Titanic began to set sail? The Titanic almost seemed to have bad luck from the start, a possible sign of the failure of the journey that is to come. As soon as the ship set sail, it came extremely close to colliding with another ship, causing panic among the passengers. Luckily, this issue was solved when the propeller from the Titanic was able to shoot water and push the other ship away, avoiding a massive collision. So passengers did return to their normal calm state for the time being. However, there was also a second issue on the boat. There existed a fire in a boiler room which took about 3 days to put out. While this issue was resolved as well, were these problems truly a sign that the Titanic would not be able to successfully complete its journey? Some people thought this boat had bad luck from the start. So, today your task is to read a little bit more about the passengers aboard the ship, as well as about the first few days of sailing. Think about what it would feel like to travel as a member of all three classes on the ship and how you would feel being a member of the first, second, and third class. You will read about the difficult things encountered during the first few days of sailing, such as the collision and the fire. You can decide if you think that this was a sign that the Titanic would not be able to successfully complete its journey. So, after you read, remember that some of the questions that you are required to answer do require complete sentences. But feel free to reach out if you have any questions during or after your reading.